When I was reading about some of the exorbitant charges that the multinational platforms were putting on these restaurants, I realised there was an opportunity to come in with a very different model.
So tell us about your model. I've given a brief synopsis there. You are in Canberra, you're expanding into Sydney and into Melbourne. Give us a look at how you do it.
Sure. So, look, we charge roughly half the commissions of what the multinational services charge. There's no joining or lock-in fees. There's a minimum order of $55, so it's a bit more of a premium product. We're very focused on a restaurant experience as opposed to fast food. And basically, you order by 5 o'clock in the evening. You pick a delivery slot and then you set your table, and we'll deliver it to you, guaranteed within that hour. We launched in Canberra 6 weeks ago. We now have around 35 restaurants on the site. I expect that'll be up to about 50 within the next couple of weeks. And we've just delivered our 1,000th delivery last night in Canberra. So 7 nights a week and been going very well. The expansion into Sydney starts this week.
Well, many people that know Sky News know my brother, Kieran Gilbert, the chief anchor, lives in Canberra. So I spend time down there. There's great restaurants. It must be a real help to them that you are doing the business that you're operating at the moment.
Absolutely. Look, it helps to have quality customers like Kieran, of course. But look, there are two sides to the equation, Tim. The first is that there are the lower commissions that we charge, but just as importantly, we employ out-of-work hospitality staff and we pay them as PAYG employees, which means they're getting superannuation, they're getting weekend loadings, and they're also getting a generous petrol allowance. I think this is really important that we can look after our hospitality staff in this period. So the multinational platforms hire ABN contractors who don't get paid loadings. They have to pay for their own petrol. They have to pay their own insurance. And I've read many articles that say these guys make around $10 to $15 an hour. Our guys make $27 an hour plus their loadings, plus their super, plus the petrol. So they're hospitality trained and they really care about how we get the food from A to B.
When you look at a town like Canberra, it is extraordinary how big the hospitality industry has become over the past few years. That whole area of Braddon. What is the temperature like amongst restaurants? How are they going? Obviously there's going to be some businesses that aren't going to get through this.
Yeah, look, restaurants are incredibly resourceful and we've seen that all around the country, in fact, all around the world. Every situation is a little bit different. I suppose in Canberra we've got a little bit of an insulated population. The COVID seems to be well under control here, but restaurants have had to diversify. And with Canberra Eats, I guess we're looking to offer an alternative revenue stream for them. We're not looking to take all of their takeaway business. It's just an alternative stream. And restaurants are doing their own deliveries, that's fine, but that can be expensive if you're sitting around and you're waiting for people to order food, or if you have too many drivers or not enough drivers, etc. Whereas what we offer is something that is not so much on demand, but it's planned out. So with our service, the customer places the order and then we would actually stagger the restaurant orders as you would as if you were running a service in a restaurant. So essentially I'm running a giant virtual restaurant in Canberra every night with 35 different kitchens.
It must have come with a thud, a real shock to you at the time, like it has to many people right around the world, because in a business like yours where you were placing people in jobs in the hospitality industry, well, no more jobs. So, and you've got children at school. It's like the charges, the fees, the bills don't stop.
No, that's true. The idea just really came to me when I was reading about what the multinationals were doing, and I still see it as my industry, having been in restaurants for so many years, and it's pretty much all I've done all my life. So that's been really hard, and I can't imagine how some of these restaurants are coping. It's very challenging. Having said that, it's fantastic to be able to create jobs. We now have 16 drivers, plus a couple of admin staff, so we're sort of a team of about 18. HarboursideEats.com launched in Sydney this week, as I said. It's just a very small, agile team, but we're hoping that those guys can take on 20, 30, maybe 40 drivers. And the preference will be to take on out-of-work hospitality staff, and we'll certainly be paying them as PAYG employees.
And I love this idea, as restrictions ease, you guys are sort of expanding your business. So because the people delivering it are hospitality staff, some people can buy a dinner for 10. He or her come to your place, they serve it, they top up your wine. Sounds like a good night.
That's right. That's a new product we launched this week in Canberra. It'll be up in Sydney fairly soon, but it's called the dinner party experience. And essentially, the menus go up on Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning for Friday and Saturday night. We'll have a small selection of restaurants, maybe 5 or 6, that will sell just one dinner party a night. Because all of our drivers are waiters or hospitality people, they will bring the food to your house. You set the table, they'll serve the food on your plates. on your cutlery, they'll top up the wine, they'll adjust the music, they'll stoke the fire, and then they'll take the mess with them afterwards. They'll do everything to basically put the kids to sleep.
Do they bring a babysitter with them? I was just about to ask you that. That might be something to work on.
You're saving on babysitting fees, you're saving on taxis, you're saving on parking. Look, we did something similar for my wife's birthday last week, and the whole thing cost us about $50. We drank our own wine. Again, not trying to put restaurants out of business. It's just an extra product that I think at this time with the restrictions is very attractive to people.
Yeah, well, you need to be agile. You need to be nimble. I would suggest, Chris, as we wrap it up, your life and your business has changed forever. Now, this is something that you'll build on now, huh?
Absolutely. And look, with the expansion into Harbourside Eats, which is the region from Crow's Nest across to Mossman and then from Neutral Bay up to Manly, we're really keen to hear from as many restaurants as possible who'd like to be involved. And of course, we'd love to have customers talk to us through our website and tell them which restaurants they'd like to see involved. So harboursideeats.com is now live. Hopefully within the next month, we'll have a product in the inner west, a product in Western Sydney and Eastern Suburbs Eats. And we're also very close to launching South Melbourne Eats down in Victoria.
Yeah, so where's the Melbourne one at?
The Melbourne one's probably 2 weeks away, and an old friend of mine who's, again, hospitality veteran, found himself out of work, challenging times. He'll be setting up in South Melbourne, so that'll be quite a large area, and I dare say there's some nice little dinner parties to be had in that part of the world.
Absolutely. Well, you've been creative. Congratulations on what you've achieved so far, Chris.